Patriots Nation, tonight we've got a red-hot run from Foxborough. 4 storylines that together reshape a short week before Thursday night. There's an update on an engine of the offense that scared everyone for a moment. A quiet behind-the-scenes move that deepens the rotation, a tactical experiment that just became a battering ram, and a locker room glimpse that explains why this team doesn't blink when the clock gets tight. Do you trust the Patriot way to win on the margins? You won't believe what we've got today. No spoilers yet, so take a seat, smash the like button, and let's dive right in. Let's start with what rattled hearts in Foxborough and now fuels the week. The scare turned into gasoline. Fresh off a reaction-worthy breakout against Tampa Bay, Henderson moved from limited to full participation on the second practice of the short week. That changes the board because the rookie isn't just pure speed and space. He's become the spark that lit up the call sheet with outside runs, draws, and even motion to hold linebackers. He dropped the stadium to a hush when he fell backward after bumping into Drake May, came back, and still piled up 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, with no restrictions, the Jets defense has to pick a poison. Squeeze the perimeter or respect the vertical cut he flashed late. If Henderson is at full tilt, their box has to loosen for play action and RPOs, and that's where May punishes you. One tension point, though, Ramondre Stevenson, toe, and Terrell Jennings, knee, were limited, which keeps the rotation under a microscope. If one of them can't go, D'Ernest Johnson becomes the security down back, and Jonathan Ward, newly re-signed, is the insurance policy for pass protection and special teams. That balance is the key to staying on schedule and away from 3rd and long, where New York's rush feasts. There's more on this chessboard. Austin Hooper remains in the concussion protocol, which opens snaps for lighter groupings with slot motion, creative back usage, and maybe a heavy package with a 6th lineman to impose mass in the red zone. And when Mike Vrabel says all hands on deck, it stops being coach speak and turns into an instruction. Prepare like a starter because the rotation will spin fast. That mirrors the report. Keyshawn Boot, Christian Ellis, and Jack Gibbons were limited. Christian Barmore and Marcus Jones are full go, vital for choking the middle and shortening fields for the offense. Practically, if the ground game clicks early, the clock becomes an ally. The line breathes, and May gets middle field reads against hurried zone rules. If it stalls, the counterpunch is tempo, screens, and misdirection to gas the front 7 and unlock the splash drive. That very dilemma could decide the night. The Jets will sell out to stop Henderson. If they do, they open a highway for May's arm. One more layer. Win field position on special teams, and you've done half the job. With Henderson healthy, play action threatens early, the crowd swells, and Gillette turns into a cauldron on every 3rd down. Think about how that tilts the math for New York. Crash the edges and the cutback and glance off RPO become cheap yards, widen the front and inside zone hits downhill before the backers reset. Keep an eye on motion. If they chase, May steals first downs with quick game. If the offensive spark is already lit, the board also shifted backstage. Small pieces that can change Thursday's endgame. New England signed Jonathan Ward to the practice squad, and in a move that flew under the radar, cleared space by moving on from Brendan Rice days earlier. On a short week, that's a clear sign of fine-tuning, protecting the plan with depth in pass pro, reinforcing special teams, and keeping the screen threat alive even with some uncertainty around the running back rotation. Vrabel repeated the mantra, improve, raise the bar, get younger and faster. That isn't a slogan. It's a roster filter. Ward knows multiple systems, Cardinals, Jets, Titans, Steelers, Giants, and brings a resume of useful snaps in November and December, the months when a single pickup in protection can save a drive, if not a season. Practically, the fit starts on 3rd down. If Henderson is cleared for volume, Ward is a situational piece for blitz pickup and outlet routes. If Stevenson or Jennings is out, his role grows to stabilize the chain. Bonus value. On special teams, he helps manipulate short fields, vital in a matchup that tends to tighten halfway through the 3rd quarter. It's no coincidence the Pats also elevated D'Ernest Johnson last weekend. Another hint, the plan is to reduce variance with trustworthy backs, sure hands, and clean pressure reads. If the wide receiver room is healthy, Rice's exit doesn't touch the top of the rotation, but it does send a message. Open competition, performance over pedigree, that culture matters. With TNF against a rival that lives on punishing mistakes, there's no margin. Every rep in protection, every angle tweak on a kick return, every pad level detail in short yardage becomes decisive. Now picture the sequence. Ward stones and interior pressure on 3rd and 7. May extends, play action threatens again, and suddenly the Jets defense has to step out of its comfort zone. That's the kind of micro win that topples dominoes. And this isn't about names so much as the short week philosophy. Less install, more execution, fewer tricks, more discipline. If the plan is aligned, Foxborough turns small edges into emotional leverage. And that isn't even the wildest part of the day. Because one experiment just became a sledgehammer practice squad flexibility tailors the bottom of the roster to a short week. Ward isn't a headline. He's the answer for the unglamorous stuff. Picking up a cross dog, chipping a wide 9, covering a kick when legs are heavy. It started as a joke on the practice field, but Mike Vrabel saw potential where nobody else was looking and turned Kyus Tonga into an unexpected weapon. The 6'2", 335-pound gap crusher became an improvised fullback who injected a healthy dose of chaos into the Patriots offense against Tampa Bay. He logged 8 offensive snaps, and each of them shifted the sideline's energy. When Tonga gets called in the huddle, the linemen grin. They know a collision is coming, and it did. On 4th and 1, he detonated a lane for Jennings to convert. Later, he truck-sticked half the Bucs defense and paved the runway for Tre'Veyon Henderson's 69-yard touchdown. 5 defenders on the ground by the end of it. That's Patriot way in its rawest form. A player who accepts any role and delivers real impact. Vrabel laid it out simply, needed mass to move the pile, and Tonga does it naturally. The coach described the transition with pride. He helps us in 3 phases: defense, offense, and special teams. He's a complete football player. The locker room bought in. Garrett Bradbury said seeing Tonga sprint to the huddle lights up the group, and Morgan Moses called him the definition of a team-first spirit. The symbolism's even better. Tonga played tight end back in high school and out of pure buy-in, tapped that background to help. He's the embodiment of how the Patriots reinvented themselves under Vrabel. Less ego, more function, more purpose. The impact goes beyond yardage. When he's on the field, the opponent loses the comfort of tendency. It's unpredictability, pure and simple. In a league obsessed with patterns, Vrabel found leverage in surprise. The experiment that started as a joke became part of the identity. Total versatility. It's a reminder that success in Foxborough doesn't depend on star power, but on soldiers willing to line up wherever they're needed. The fan base already adopted Tonga as one of their own, the 3-phase freight train who clears anything in his path. And if you thought that was unusual, wait for what's next, because what's happening inside this locker room explains why New England is feared again. Tonga's package forces a defense to declare, match heavy and risk the edge, or stay light and live with a 335-pound hammer through the A-gap. Either way, the offense dictates terms and the sideline wakes up. There's something special happening in Foxborough, and it's not just the score. Robert Spillane dropped a line after the win over Tampa Bay that became a mantra in the locker room. When the game's on the line, everybody pictures themselves making the play to win. That's the kind of mindset that turns a group into a family. Defensive lineman Milton Williams echoed it. We don't play not to lose, we play to win. That's the soul of a 7-game win streak the team believes, celebrates together, and trusts the man next to them. Mike Vrabel built that. From day one, he changed the tone. Fewer speeches, more action. The result is a group that gives of itself. The connection between the new head coach and Drake May is the foundation, but the secret runs deeper. It's the environment, the vibe check Stephon Diggs called real, not forced. He said even the guys on the sideline celebrate like they're in the huddle. Vrabel's blue-collar ethos reinforces that collective spirit right down to the small gestures. Position groups eat together. The O-line has its weekly dinner. The quarterback even brought a hibachi chef to his house to feed the linemen. That's not luxury, that's culture. It's the Patriot way, relearned by a new generation. Week after week, that confidence spills over. The defense plays as if every snap is the last. The offense executes with the calm of a unit that trusts the other side to hold the line. Vrabel frames it perfectly. The truest character is being genuinely hyped when somebody else makes the play. That's the belonging Foxborough regained. In a chaotic AFC, New England reemerges with a classic formula. Confidence, discipline, and love for the grind. Spillane bottom-lined it. You can play not to lose, or you can play to win. They choose to win. That's why this group is different. It's 8 wins, 2 losses, and a locker room that moves like one heartbeat. The scariest part for the rest of the league? There's still room to grow. If that sounds like exaggeration, maybe it's time to believe again. Culture shows up in film sessions, veterans pulling rookies aside, laughter at lineman dinners, and silence when it's time to grind. That's joy without sloppiness, swagger without shortcuts. Foxborough is breathing confidence. After weeks that felt like rebuilding, what you see now is a reborn identity. The four threads from tonight tie into one: resilience. Henderson proving a rookie can have a veteran's heart, Ward stepping in as a behind-the-scenes piece that changes the plan, Tonga showing that force and humility can share the same helmet, and a locker room that roars with a single voice. Mike Vrabel gave the Patriot way its soul back, and the fans feel it. The only question is how far this group can go, playing with so much belief and chemistry. Sound off in the comments. Are we talking dream or destiny for the Super Bowl? Hit like and subscribe because the best is still ahead. Watching at home? Checklist for Thursday. Win the edges early, live under 3rd and 5, flip the field on specials. Drop your predictions, score, and first touchdown in the comments.